Alright guys, today we're going to be working on this 350Z right here. It's my 2004 Nissan 350Z. As you see here, we're going to be doing this to this side, and I'll be showing you how. Alright, let's get started. So first we're going to pop the hood right here. And now that the hood's open, we're going to be using these two tools. A flathead screwdriver and a ratchet with a size 10 socket. I had already started most of the work. I already removed all the bolts that go here. There are two bolts that goes for the bumper and one bolt goes to the headlight. So once you get that, it releases. Next, I just got to remove the plastic clips. As you see here, I removed the three bolts that were holding the headlight. One here, and there are two down here. I don't know if you can see. Here are two bolts that we had to remove, which is the one right there and the other one over there. Also, there's this bolt that holds it down. Once you finish removing the four bolts that hold the headlight down, next we're going to be disconnecting the wiring harness from the headlight so it can be free from the car. Sorry about that. As you see here, the harness we're going to be removing is this one right here. So you'll just be using a flathead to press on the tab. As you press on the tab, then you can just wiggle the socket out. It'll come right off. Once that's done, the whole headlight should come out. Now the headlight's free from the car. Alright, now that we got the headlight inside, we're gonna make sure we remove all the screws. So, as you see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 with the one that's hidden down here, and then 5. I've already removed 4, so I just gotta remove the last one, which is the one here. For this next process, you're gonna want to make sure you wear gloves. I decided I'm gonna use the heat gun to heat up the headlight so I can unstick the adhesive. As you see here, 5 screws. Set those somewhere so you don't lose them. Wait for it to warm up. Alright, now that it's hot, just carefully apply heat. You're gonna start smelling the adhesive, which has this nasty kind of burnt smell. So if you can, wear a mask. Alright. Get the headlight out. Let this cool down and set it aside somewhere. Now that we got the lens removed, we're gonna set it aside because I will not be touching anything else in here. The only thing we're gonna work on is this bezel that's inside the lens, as you see. The one that has the orange amber reflector and all that. We're gonna be removing that. So set this aside. With the bezel removed from the lens, what we're gonna do now is remove this orange amber reflector. So now we're gonna push on this up. First one came out. And there goes the others. This, you can throw it away now. I'm gonna grab our rope LED strip. And we're gonna measure how much we're gonna cut off from the lens over here. This rope LED is gonna fit in here along this groove. Then over here is where we're gonna start cutting the channel for this light to pass. So we're gonna cut all this off all the way up to here. As you see here, I got started with cutting with the Dremel. If you have a cutoff wheel, it'll be a lot better. So that way you just got cut, since the only thing I have right now is just this little carving tip. Well, that's all I got to use. So just make sure you don't scratch the sides in here. Just make sure the only thing you remove is this.
A few moments later. Meanwhile.
Now that we cut out the area where we're gonna run the LED, you're gonna grab a drill and a drill bit that's a good enough size so you can be able to put in these little screws. The reason for drilling the holes is so you won't break the plastic. So over here I drilled 3 holes. One here, another one here, and one here. This one I already put the little plastic clip that will be used to hold on to the LEDs. And they'll be sitting right here near the edge. Alright, now all 3 are installed, so see here it's gonna look like this. That one right there. Now all we gotta do is install the LED strip. And there we go. That's really it. Now we're gonna put this back on the lens. Now that we have installed the LED tube on the plastic bezel, we're gonna place this right back on the lens. Just carefully snap it back how it was. But first, make sure everything's clean in here. Make sure no dust particles are in there. Then you just quickly put it back in. Make sure it clips right back into place. There you go. Alright, now we're gonna install the screws. There we go. Let's take a look at it. There you go. Before we throw this thing onto the headlight, we're gonna test the LED tube to make sure everything's working perfectly fine. So I use my 12-volt power source to make sure it's working fine. Let's see, power, and then we got ground. Right, looks nice. Let's see, just the brightness right there. Nice and bright, that's what we want to see. So this thing is ready to heat up and put right back onto the headlight. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, once we have our headlight here ready, we're going to be reheating up the sides where the adhesive is at so we can get it nice and sticky. All right, once you heated this up, now you're gonna do the same to this. You're gonna wanna heat up the adhesive so both sides will be nice and warm and ready to stick on. So just set the heat gun out to the side. So now, once you've heated the lens up and the housing, now you're gonna wanna run the wire through where the light bulb ran through, the existing one. So just run the wire through that. And just carefully set the lens right on the housing. Try to make sure everything lines up perfectly so it can seal up perfectly. Once you made sure everything was clipped on nice and tight, you're going to be putting on the screws. Once everything's sealed up and all that, you're now going to wire this up. So if you have any LED bulbs that you don't mind destroying, or if you have one that already messed up, go ahead and grab it, undo the little metal pins so they're pointing out straight like that, because what you want to do is pull the LEDs out of it. Depending on the type of LEDs, you might or might not have to struggle with this. In my case, I will have to struggle because there's glue stuck on there. So I'm just going to cut this little rim off. Once you pried off the LED, you want to stick it out and then clean this up really good if you had to break it. Now that it's all cleaned up, you're gonna want to grab the wires that are on here, clip them off, because you're going to solder them onto this. Now that both wires have been soldered, you're gonna want to run the wires in through the holes. Once you've done this, you're going to want to put some silicone down in there to make sure these wires don't touch. Now just let that sit for a few hours before you mess with it. Once the sealant has dried, just put in the bulb. And that's it. Now all you got to do is put it in the car and test it out.